Welcome back. We are Viewpoints, and this is our Propositions Roundtable. Right now we're going to be discussing Proposition 4. Proposition 4 is the 48 hours parental notification before a minor girl is eligible to receive an abortion from a licensed medical professional. There's a lot of debate on this issue, a lot of Roe versus Wade implications. Well, not implications, but people are concerned that it's going to have implications on Roe versus Wade. Other people are saying, you know, a minor's a minor. I can't walk into my doctor's office and get treated for a cold, you know, if I'm under the age of 18. How does that make me eligible to show up to my doctor's office and get an abortion? And they're saying that the same medical standards, the same legal standards should apply to minors, you know, no matter what the treatment is. Let's go ahead and open up our discussion to the panelists to get their views on this issue.
Well, I think you bring up a great point. We don't even let 14, 15, and 16-year-olds drink or drive or make any other decisions that may end up affecting their lives for that very reason. They don't understand and can't weigh the consequences of what they're actually going to be doing. So I think that it is important that they do notify a parent, and there are provisions that allow them, if they feel that they're in an abusive home, if they feel that it's going to be a problem, they can go and see a counselor or even have the court grant them the ability to make their own decision if the court deems that they are mature enough to weigh the outcomes of their decision.
If you don't think that they're old enough to go to the hospital for the flu, do you think they're old enough to raise a kid? They should be able to have an abortion if they're underage because they're still children themselves.
But they could also use adoption. They can, you know, give up the child,
yeah,
raise the child.
But they have all those options available to them. And if they go to the doctor to even get information about an abortion, that doctor has to give a note to the parents saying that they asked about it. So they're not even allowed to find out information without their parents finding out.
Also, if you get pregnant as a minor, you're going to be missing school. So adoption even then is going to cause the mom, you know, it's going to delay her life. And I know a lot of people say, oh, boo-hoo about that. But I feel that that is important. And one more.
And she can jump in whenever she wants, Jason. You don't have your 5 minutes in the spotlight, I'm sorry.
More importantly, though, for me, this is concerning the right to privacy of minors. And what this proposition is implying is that civil rights that we have can be taken away just because you're a minor and you don't know better. You don't know how to exercise your rights, so you don't deserve them. And I think that philosophical point is much more important.
Well, but the provisions give the ability for the court to say that they do understand, or give the ability for a counselor to say that, you know, they are of sound mind to be able to make that decision.
But that's a really long, legal process they have to go to just to prove that they're mature enough to not have a child.
That's all I was going to say. I mean, if you don't think a minor knows what they're getting themselves into when they're going to, you know, find out about a flu at the doctor's.
Well, they got themselves knocked up. They obviously don't know exactly what they're doing.
Navigate the legal system, the convoluted legal system in California.
Well, they have free representation. Well, they are given free representation. They don't need to pay for the lawyer. They can get a lawyer through legal aid. And obviously, if they got knocked up, they're not very mature in the first place.
But that's not necessarily true. You're completely ignoring cases of rape and incest. And for a case of incest, you're not going to be able to tell the parents.
Well, this doesn't require notification in cases of incest, rape, or in the case of it's medically necessary for them.
So they have to go through this whole legal process to prove that they shouldn't have to tell their parents. And by then, don't you think their parents are going to be a little suspicious that they're going to the courthouse every day and then...
If those parents would, in this situation, abuse the child or the teenager, wouldn't they already have signs of abuse? Would they just snap all of a sudden? Is that what you're implying, that somebody that wouldn't normally be abusive in this situation would be abusive? And in that case, wouldn't the child have already, and the child at this point does have the opportunity to report their abusive parent and be taken into a safe situation? And in that case, they do not have to report this to their abusive parent. If the abuse of the parent is what the child is fearing, in that situation, that has already been in consideration. And as far as the implication of the rights of minors goes, being taken away, I think it's very important to understand the difference between an adult and a minor. They are minors for a reason, and they have parents or guardians for a reason. There is a reason that people are raised by older people because those older people have experience. If they feel that they need the total right to privacy to take care of the abortion of this horrible rape, I mean, if they were raped horribly, they have other situations which they can take it to court, the rape. I mean, they already need to report the rape because they've been raped. It's a crime. They should report the crime.
You want to report a rape, and you shouldn't have to.
So you say that you should take care of the baby, commit this abortion, but they don't want the rapist to be caught?
Sometimes you don't. It's up to them. I don't want to make the choice for them, is the point.
We're getting a little bit like bogged down in the discussion of rape. You know, are people going to report it or not? But I think we're also focusing on just the fact that these mothers would also be minors. Another major point that I've been hearing both sides discuss is the implication for abortion laws in general, not only applicable to minors, but I've heard on one side that this is not going to affect Roe v. Wade. This only has to do with the fact that a person seeking medical attention is underage and therefore requires parental notification. On the other side, I'm hearing this is one step toward breaking down the protections of Roe v. Wade. So what do you guys have to?
In the bill, Section 32, subsection U, does specifically limit it to apply in any way to actual Roe v. Wade, to anything further. It applies only to the abortions of minors.
I think that even given that, the problem we're dealing with is that having a child isn't a decision that just affects you until you turn 18. It's not something like driving. If you crash a car, you lose your license. If you get pregnant, that's your whole life. You're dealing with that for the rest of your life, into adulthood, into retirement even. So it should be a decision that, regarding the rest of your life, that you should be allowed to make as a minor.
But we know that minors often will make decisions because they're afraid of the consequences that may or may not exist if they're afraid their parents may be ashamed of them or anything else, versus really weighing the ramifications of what it's going to mean to have an abortion for the rest of your life.
Also, we all need to remember that they do have the option to give the child up for adoption. They don't have to be burdened down by this child that they are taking care of for the rest of their life. You have the option for adoption.
All right, so we've heard all sides of the argument on that one. So Proposition 4, people for it say mother knows best, parents should know. We need to have that notification for a minor to seek an abortion. The other side says if mother knows best, why does the daughter need an abortion in the first place? So we'll go ahead and move on then. Prop number 5.